Lin Yi wanted to kill Qin Tian immediately, but is it possible? It's not possible at all. He, whose skill has not recovered yet, dare not do anything with Qin Tian at all. And Qin Tian didn't care about him either. He still turned around and left. After looking at his series of system prompts, his mouth raised a smile. Originally, I spent 500 points to buy background information, and the villain value was left with 2,000 points. Now not only the villain has 3,900 points, but the luck value has also reached 4,400 points. It can be said to be quite fruitful. However, after reading Lin Yi's information, Qin Tian also knew that Lin Yi was a bit uncomfortable. Lin Yi's persona is of long out Yin type. Not only is a group with high luck value, but also doesn't have many concerns like other protagonists. Even his parents in this life are not important to him. Originally, according to the normal plot, he should rely on his own ability to quickly recover his skills. Then in this junction, establish a network of your own, accept a group of big brothers as younger brothers, and capture a group of girls with superb looks. People resist killing, Buddhas resist killing Buddhas. In the end, it was almost the same in the city, and then went to find the previous enemies to avenge. But he didn't expect that he was unfavorable when he went to school and met Qin Tian, the destiny villain. Not only intercepted what should belong to him, and even after he said harsh words, want to do something to him? This F***CK, if he changed from the previous one, he would have slapped him to death with a slap. In which round is the opponent showing off in front of him? Fortunately, his skill has not recovered now. Even if you have already had a murderous heart on Qin Tian, you won't be so stupid that you just go to Qin Tian to face it. In addition, it is impossible for a cultivator to kill casually in a large crowd. So with so many guests in this hall, Lin Yi will not be impulsive, and Qin Tian will not be able to shoot him. What happened? Seeing Lin Yi leaving behind, everyone was a little unsure. Because of the conversation between the two, they couldn't understand it at all. Lin Yi gave Qin Tian a piece of rough for free, but it seemed a little reluctant, and Qin Tian still sells well after getting cheaper, and still wants to bully Lin Yi? Lin Yi is just a college student, and Qin Tian is a rich man worth hundreds of billions. What the two of them did seemed to be a bit inconsistent with the personality, right? Let alone ordinary people like the Su family. Even Chen Yang, who was also a cultivator, was a little confused at this time. Among the cultivators, except for some Xiaobai who just started to cultivate and couldn't control his true qi. Ordinary cultivators are almost the same as ordinary people in normal times. When not doing it, neither the enemy nor the enemy knows the strength of the other party. In other words, Chen Yang at this time couldn't see who Qin Tian and Lin Yi were strong and who was weak. But the momentum of Lin Yi doesn't look like a weak chicken. Why did you just confuse it? It looks like nephew Qin Xian got a great stone. Su Guofu seemed to be aware of something, and looked at Qin Tian's face with a smile. Uncle Qin, is there anything special about this stone? Can't see it at all? I feel that it is not as good looking as other stones. Su Yanran, Chen Mingming, Duan Xiaoyu, and the three of you have a glance at me. Seems very curious about this stone. Actually, I don't know what is special about this stone. Read more at hopfulnovel.xyz. Qin Tian smiled and lied. It just feels that he cares about this thing very much, so I don't want to give it to him. Is that right? Isn't it? Uncle Qin, are you so bad? You girl, can you speak? It's all right, don't talk anymore. Is this stone still a bet? Bet? Why not bet? Wang Yi, give Laoli the glass seed in your hand. You can take this for me. Okay, boss. Wang Yi agreed and quickly took over the spirit stone in Qin Tian's hands. As soon as he took it over, he felt something was wrong. Although he has practiced for many years, he is the same as Qin Tian. I haven't been in contact with the cultivation world, and I don't know how valuable this spirit stone is. But he was just naive, not stupid. Just looking at Lin Yi's performance and the feeling of starting now, he also knows that this thing is extremely valuable. So he kept it very carefully. With the storm just now, and the next gambling game, everyone's interest was not as high as before. But overall, it was quite fun to play. Needless to say the ending naturally. Because gambling has a set time. So in the case of rough stones there are so many. You can only rely on the method of elimination. How can Qin Yang, who went to see one by one, ever get past Qin Tian, who has super intelligent navigation? Of course, Qin Tian's acting skills are at full level. I wouldn't be so stupid to go straight to the most expensive one. He has all sorts of screening, all kinds of watching. I took one of the most expensive and chose two general ones. Finally, he narrowly defeated Qin Yang. Wow, Uncle Qin is too good. This jade is too correct in color, right? I want this, I want this. Uncle Qin, I want this too, I want this too. Looking at the top quality ice jade, Chen Mingming cheered for joy. Even Su Yanran couldn't help showing a happy expression. This piece of ice jade is so big, you can do a lot of things. Let them keep 2 bracelets, one for each of you, Qin Tian said very casually. Anyway, this thing is of no use to him, and keeping it is for sale. For the current Qin Tian, money is really just a bunch of numbers. Even if he can make money by betting on rocks, he has no idea of making money. You know, the Qin family of Qin Tian is already hundreds of billions. Now not only does Yejia have 30% more shares, but it also swallows a food delivery system. The skills evolved from this system cost 10 million a day. He can't spend just this tens of millions. So where is the mind to use gambling to make money? Thank you, Uncle Qin. Uncle Qin is so nice. Hearing that Qin Tian wanted to give them the best jade, Su Yanran and Chen Mingming thanked Qin Tian. Duan Xiaoyu was not ashamed to follow Qin Tian because he was not very familiar with Qin Tian. Ding, prevent the protagonists, Chen Yang, from acting successfully, get the villain value plus 500, and the protagonists, Chen Yang luck value minus 200. Ding, the heroine Su Yanran's favorability has risen, and the villain's value is plus 300. Ding, one of the heroines, Chen Mingming, has increased his favorability, and his villain value is plus 200. Ding, one of the heroines, Duan Xiaoyu, worships you. It is another 1200 villain value. Yes, it seems that President Qin is indeed an expert. I am willing to bet. Chen Yang said unwillingly. Although I know that Qin Tian may also be a cultivator, he may have unique opinions on betting on stones. But this time he didn't pretend to succeed, which made him very upset. Seeing Su Yanran and Chen Mingming surrounding Qin Tian again, the feeling of unhappiness became more obvious. Haha, Brother Chun has made the concession, Chun Yang said lightly. Should the 10 million, good, be transferred directly to President Qin, or, forget it. Qin Tian waved his hand very proudly. It's just for fun. You don't have to take it seriously. Not to mention that you are a junior. If I really take you 10 million, old Su will find me desperately. Haha, what did nephew Qin Xian say? Brother Qin, it really is magnificent. Without losing the elder's tolerance, I admire him. Where? Uncle Qin, so handsome. Ding, you left a deep and good impression in the heart of the key character, Su Guofu. The villain value is plus 300. Ding, one of the heroines, Chun Mingming, worships you? A series of system prompts sounded again. It's 700 points again. Together with the previous ones, there are a total of 5,800 points. Seeing so many villains, Qin Tian nodded unsatisfactorily. Uk. With so many villains, they have all caught up with devouring a system. By the way, I took a look at the favorability of the two.
Su Yanran, 87%.
Chen Mengmeng, 89%.
Seeing this degree of favorability, Qin Tian was still a little surprised. After all, it can rise to 90% of the favorability degree, which represents absolute loyalty. Both of them have a good impression of over 85%. Want to rise to 90%? Obviously it's a miss. But even if he knew this, Qin Tian was not very anxious, because he really didn't catch a cold with Chen Mingming. Although Chen Mingming's appearance was 93 points without any problems, the little girl still did not have the taste of adult women. As for Su Yanran, according to Qin Tian's experience as a villain for so long, Su Yanran is a genuine heroine. She is a little different from other harem heroines. I always feel that the attributes of a genuine heroine to attract a male hero are stronger than other harem heroines. If you accept her, this characteristic of attracting male protagonists will definitely fall sharply. Qin Tian can be sure of this. So for his own villain cause, establish a good ambiguous relationship with her, but keep a certain distance. This is the correct way to open the real heroine. Because this time there are 2 protagonists and 3 heroines. So Qin Tian not only had fun this time, but also gained more than 5,000 villains and a spiritual stone. Overall, it is quite satisfactory. But Qin Tian is satisfied, but Chun Yang is depressed. Originally, he should be the protagonist of this stone gambling. But in the end, Qin Tian stole the limelight. This made him accustomed to the attention of the public, and his mood was very unbeautiful. So, after the gambling was over, he greeted everyone at random and parted ways with Su Guofu and his party. His figure looks a little lonely, but now no one cares about him anymore. You go first. I have something I want to talk to with nephew Qin Xian. Out of the gambling ground, Su Guofu suddenly spoke to his son and granddaughter. Obviously, he was also aware of some situations. Upon hearing this, Su Yanran and others were a little confused, but didn't think much. Groups of 3 and 5 walked towards the parking lot of the town. Qin Tian didn't care either, and waved his hands to Li Jun and let them go ahead. And he himself followed Su Guofu at the end. After everyone left, Qin Tian said, "What advice does Elder Su have?"
Su Guofu smiled helplessly. Advice?
"Where can I be qualified to teach you?" "Nephew Qin Xian, I didn't expect you to hide it quite deep." Qin Tian smiled slightly. "How do you say this? If I'm not wrong, you should be a cultivator like Brother Chen, right?" Hee. Old Su's eyes are like a torch. Qin Tian shrugged with a smile, non-committal. Chen Yang is a cultivator. Qin Tian guessed and saw it. So he was not particularly surprised to hear Su Guofu say this. Ha, okay, don't you come and slap my old man's ass. Su Guofu looked at Qin Tian with a smile. I don't know why, now he sees Qin Tian more and more satisfied. Read more at hotplnovel.xyz. To be honest, I really didn't expect that your old Qin family would still have a character like you. He knows the energy of a cultivator better than anyone else. So after getting Qin Tian's affirmative reply, his eyes looked at Qin Tian obviously different. You know, as the old lady behind the Su family, he still won't be short of money. Betting on rocks is nothing more than entertainment. So rich, why would he become a year-long friend with a young man like Chen Yang? It's not because I guessed that Chen Yang might be a cultivator, so I deliberately approached him. It's just that he didn't even imagine that the cultivator he had always wanted to approach was far away in front of him. It's just a cultivator. It's no big deal. You, haha, nephew Qin Xian, humility is a good thing, but too much humility is proud. Is it? Haha. Knowing that Qin Tian is a cultivator, Su Guofu seems very happy. The two talked happily behind. When they returned to the parking lot, everyone parted ways again. Qin Shiji left with Wei Qingbin, who was unhappy. Chen Mingming rode a motorcycle and left with the Su family. Duan Xiaoyu sat on Qin Tian's Rolls-Royce. Elder Su took Su Yanran to his car in a rare way. Grandpa, what are you talking about with Uncle Qin later? So happy? Su Yanran didn't care either. After getting in the car, seeing old man Su smile, he couldn't help but ask. It has been a long time since she saw her grandpa smile from the heart. Nothing to talk about, Xiao Zhou, you can drive first. Okay, sir. Su Guofu directed the driver to drive, smiled and looked at his granddaughter after speaking. Yanran, what do you think of your Uncle Qin? Very good. Su Yanran didn't pay attention to Su Guofu's trap and said bluntly, not only does she look good, but she is also very capable. Then do you like him? What? Su Yanran's face was reddened, and she was obviously caught off guard. Grandpa, why are you asking this all of a sudden? Uncle Qin and I just... Okay, don't think that Grandpa is old. You don't understand anything. Su Guofu interrupted her words earnestly. Your grandfather is just old and not blind. You and that little girl from the Chen family, oh? Grandpa, I'm sorry, Hearing Su Guofu sigh, Su Yanran lowered her head in shame. For her highly educated, she knows that she likes Qin Tian, and most people can't accept it. Especially the more traditional old people like my grandfather, it is even more unacceptable. Therefore, it is normal for Su Guofu to be disappointed with himself at this time. After hearing Su Yanran's words, Su Guofu became curious. I'm sorry? Why do you want to say sorry? I mean, if you really like it, you should hurry up and take the initiative. Look at that little girl from the Chin family. She also likes your Uncle Chin. Can you see how others do it? Huh? Not. Grandpa. Su Yanran couldn't believe her ears. I like Uncle Chin. Shouldn't you try to stop it? Why now? Do you think Grandpa is really old-fashioned? Su Guofu said in a huff. Grandpa, I have been in business for so long anyway, it's not that I don't know how to work around. Your Uncle Chin's qualifications are much better than those of some wealthy second generations, and after he was widowed, he did not marry again. It's normal for a good-looking, rich, and capable man like him to attract your attention. Grandpa can understand this. So, Grandpa, do you support me? Su Yanran was a little surprised, and also a little weird. She likes Qin Tian. The main reason why I can't let go is that my family members will oppose it. Now that she hears her grandfather openly supporting her, why is she not excited? You can say so, Su Guofu said indifferently. I think it's not just me, but your father and your mother should have no other opinions. Really? Grandpa? When did Grandpa fool you? Su Guofu said lightly. But although your Uncle Chin is very good, I am your grandfather after all. I still have to remind you of some things. For a good-looking and golden man like your Uncle Chin, there will definitely be many women who like him. If you want to cultivate with him, the difficulty will increase exponentially. So this time Grandpa won't interfere with your marriage anymore. As for whether or not to go this way, it's up to you to make the decision. Grandpa, I see. Su Yanran nodded, and then gratefully said, Thank you, Grandpa. Hearing Su Yanran's thank you, Su Guofu immediately knew Su Yanran's choice. Knowing this, he could only sigh helplessly in his heart. Oh, I hope my decision this time is correct. Because Qin Tian has been very eye-catching in these few contacts with the Su family. As the head of the family, Su Guofu had chosen not to bother Su Yanran at all. On the other side, Qin Tian is studying Lin Yi's information. Lin Yi's luck value is against the sky, needless to say. But does Lin Yi have any weaknesses? Of course there is. As long as it is human, there will be weaknesses. However, the most important data recorded by the Qin Tian villain's eyes are only a few words. It's too arrogant and arrogant. As for other weaknesses, except that the current strength is somewhat low, other weaknesses are almost negligible. He has his own woman, but this woman is not bad, and even Lin Yi himself doesn't know her whereabouts. He also has his own parents, but he was an orphan in the previous life, and his parents after rebirth are not that important to him. In other words, Qin Tian wants to deal with him, basically can only start from him. It is difficult to use their women, wives, and parents as breakthrough points like Fu Yichan and Xiao Chen did. But how easy is it to deal with Lin Yi himself? The value of luck against the sky allows him to get his own chance wherever he goes. A rebirth like him can upgrade a few times faster. As a villain, not only does his luck value is lower than that of the opponent, but he is also unable to kill him in the public. Call the police directly? Report him as a rebirth? The police pay attention to evidence when arresting people. There is no evidence. There is a silly use for reporting. Godfather. Duan Xiaoyu's voice interrupted Qin Tian's contemplation. Qin Tian came back to his senses. What's the matter? I call you Godfather, are you used to it? What's not used to it? I take too many goddesses? Qin Tian opened his mouth and came. Is it? Duan Xiaoyu didn't care, and continued to ask, Then, can I ask you a few questions? You ask. I think you seem to be very rich. If you say you don't want to do it, don't let it go. How much money do you have? A lot, too much to use up? Then I heard that you rich people are a guise to accept your daughters, mainly doing that kind of thing at the moment. Is this true? Not before, but now, mostly. Qin Tian said here and took a look at this little sister. Why? Don't you have this idea too? No one. Duan Xiaoyu blushed unexpectedly. After all, she's an unmanned little girl, even if she usually reopens after playing. Facing such direct greetings from Qin Tian, she is somewhat at a loss. Then what are you trying to say? I just want to say, when I am with you, although I don't have to worry about money, I don't seem to be able to join your circle? This feeling makes me very uncomfortable. Godfather, do I really have to go with you? Duan Xiaoyu looked at Qin Tian pitifully, as if begging for something. When I think of the gambling on the rock yard just now, these rich people are smashing millions of people at every turn. Su Yanran sent out a watch casually, which was more than 1 million. Read more at hotmailnovel.xyz. This is two extremes that are completely different from her previous life. She was also very uncomfortable when she grew up in an ordinary family. Qin Tian also understood what Duan Xiaoyu said. In today's society, some women who think they have a dichotomy dare to hope to marry a wealthy family. Everyone knows that the rich and the young masters generally only take the rich wives and daughters, because their cognition, knowledge, and circle of friends with ordinary women are not at the same level. Even if it is Cinderella in a fairy tale, isn't it still because she is the daughter of the earl? So Duan Xiaoyu shouldn't feel this way too normal. Well, it's not necessary. After thinking about it, Qin Tian said lightly, but you definitely can't go back to that place before. Well, I'll give you another cell phone. You can live with Chen Mingming. You can do whatever you want, even if you ask your friends out to play. But don't disturb other people's normal lives, and you can't contact your adoptive parents and Yixian. What do you think? That's it? It's okay. Then you call Miss Ming? Can. Qin Tian nodded, and took out the phone directly. Not only did he call, he also called Chen Mingming with the locomotive money he had promised Duan Xiaoyu. At the same time, when Qin Tian arranged Duan Xiaoyu's residence, it was in the living room of a villa on the edge of Jiangqing City. The old and the young sit opposite each other. What is the origin of this surname Qin? Lin Yi frowned and asked Zhu Wanshi in front of him. It's not only arrogant, but also very irritating, because he doesn't ask about worldly things. So even if Qin Tian is a top rich man, he has never heard of it. At this time, Qin Tian snatched a spirit stone in front of him, which made him extremely uncomfortable. Hearing Lin Yi's words, Zhu Wanshi handed over the materials he had already prepared. Lin Xiao, this is his information. Lin Yi didn't say a word, and looked at it after receiving the information. Qin Tian's information is not difficult to find. Even if you use a website search, you can find a general idea. Qin Tian, the president of the Qin Group, one of the richest people in Tumen. The business is very big, and there is no small industry in Jiangqing. Rich man? Seeing this, Lin Yi couldn't help but squint at his eyes. A rich man who has just come into contact with cultivation, dare to snatch things from my master? Boom! Lin Yi slapped the table fiercely. It's a jerk. After hearing Lin Yi's words, Zhu Wanshi dared not speak, for fear of offending the young master in front of him. Although he is now, he doesn't know that Lin Yi is a rebirth. But in his mind, the Shadow League is a very mysterious and terrifying existence. The temper and style of the young master in front of him are very similar to those of the Shadow League. So Zhu Wanshi didn't doubt Lin Yi's identity, let alone offend Lin Yi. Who is with him? Do you have any information about them? Lin Yi said solemnly. He suddenly thought of Su Yanran, and felt that the identity of this woman might be a bit uncomfortable. Have. Upon hearing this, Zhu Wanshi also handed a copy of Su's information. After reading the information of Su family, Lin Yi nodded slightly, and then took a closer look at the information behind Qin Tian. Su family? And Yi family. When he saw that the Yi family and the Qin family were on the hot search for a while because of conflicts, soon there was a plan in mind. Okay, you go out first. Yes, Master Lin. Wish Wanshi leave respectfully. Lin Yi thought for a while, then picked up the phone in his hand and dialed a number. Hey! There was a clear voice from a woman on the other end of the phone. Heaven is not old. Lin Yi's voice was calm. The woman on the other end of the phone was obviously stunned, and then she still said, I can't help but feel love. Heart is like a double wire mesh. There are thousands of knots in it. The woman endured her inner excitement and quickly found a safe place. Brother Yi, is that you? You are all ready. This is a long story. Lin Yi quickly interrupted the woman. Ling Shuang, is it convenient for you to speak now? This? The woman named Ling Shuang looked at the surrounding situation and seemed to feel a little wrong. Brother Yi, wait for me. Speaking of this, the woman hurried to an absolutely safe place and picked up the phone again, but her voice was already crying. Brother Yi, I thought you were all ready. Okay, don't cry first, listen to me first. You say. Lin Yi said solemnly. Now the only thing I can believe in the entire Shadow League is you. I am in some trouble now and need your help. Bring some things and come to Jiangqing. As a rebirth of the Sejong Gate, Lin Yi's network is naturally not worse than Yixian's. It's just that the Sejong Gate has its drawbacks. Zhongmani's deceit and intrigue can be said to be more cruel than the outside world. Either you kill me, or I kill you. Every day, for a little resource, he beats his head. And according to normal novel routines, when a reborn person dies in a previous life, he will die vigorously. But after he was reborn, he would suddenly suspect that there was an inner ghost in his sect. So there are not many people who Lin Yi can believe now. This Ling Shuang is one of them. Ling Shuang, full name Qiu Ling Shuang, is the first female assassin of the Shadow League. When I was young, I was very cute, but when I grew up, I was cold and ruthless. But from the day she started, she liked this handsome, but evil-looking senior brother Lin Yi. Of course, Lin Yi is the name of Lin Yi in his previous life. In this life, his name is Lin Yi. There is no doubt that Qiu Ling Shuang likes Lin Yi. It's just because Lin Yi, who was in the previous life, was bohemian. On weekdays, even if there is no task time, he rarely stays in the sect. So no matter how much she likes Lin Yi, she can only bury this love in her heart. And the most important thing is that although Lin Yi's strength is tyrannical, he still can't get rid of the dogblood setting of the novel. He has always regarded Qiu Ling Shuang as his sister. Only when the city mix is about to end, he only turned this sister into his own woman. A top female killer with a world-famous appearance is infatuated with you. You just treat her as a younger sister? I have to say that the dog's face was sprayed with blood. On the other side, Qin Tian didn't know Lin Yi's actions at all. Because now he is Lingshi? President Qin, do you really have a Lingshi? Hear Qin Tian's voice on the phone. Dan Shenzi, who was far away in Tumen City, looked excited. Spirit stone? It's actually a spirit stone? Do you dare to believe it? Isn't it just a spiritual stone? As for the excitement? In a 5-star hotel, looking at the stone the size of an ostrich egg in front of him, Qin Tian looked confused. This thing doesn't seem to be anything special except that you can feel a hint of energy fluctuations in it. Hearing Qin Tian's words, Dan Shenzi said in a huff, President Qin, you have never been in contact with the cultivation world, so you don't know the function of this thing. The function of the spirit stone, in addition to being used for cultivation, can also be used to depict formations in it and use it for formation. Arrangement? Qin Tian's eyebrows twitched. What is the cloth tin array? The gossip array? Or is it the spirit gathering array for cultivating immortals?
Xian?
Dan Shenzi was taken aback, and then couldn't help but smile. Haha, Xiuxian is a legendary thing. I don't know if there is any. But the old man can be sure that some powerful sects must have formations made of spirit stones. That is to say, as long as the use of spirit stones is reasonable, the powerful is not a person, but a sect. Oh, listening to what you said, is this tricky still useful? A powerful sect? Seems to be right for you? More than a bit? Dan Shenzi was full of black lines. Read more at Hopful Novel, XYZ. My own suzerain is lucky, but it seems a bit ignorant. Lingshi, such a rare thing, is actually just a little useful in his mouth? Qin Tian also doesn't care. Well, since it is so useful, I will send someone to send it back for you. Don't, Mr. Qin. I'd better let Xiao Zhou come over and take it. Don't worry if he is with me. That's it. Also okay. Qin Tian nodded. He knew that Xiao Zhou in Dan Shenzi's mouth was Zhou. With Zhou, the spirit stone is indeed safer. The protagonist and the villain have always vowed to be incompatible. Even if Lin Yi and Qin Tian have only met once, now they have become the enemy of life and death because of a piece of spiritual stone. So the current situation is, Lin Yi is thinking of a way to deal with Qin Tian, wanting to take back that piece of spiritual stone. And Qin Tian is not idle naturally. While taking Lao Li and Wang Yi to inspect the industry of the Qin family, while mobilizing personnel from Tumen City, they investigated the information of the two protagonists. Although there are many properties of the Qin family in Jiangsheng, Qin Tian's security company is only one in Tumen. Plus, there is no intelligence network here. Therefore, Qin Tian's actions are much slower than in Tumen. In a blink of an eye, 5 days passed. In these 5 days, Su Jingyang and Su Yanran's father and daughter returned to Tumen. Zhou Wen also brought Lingshi to the Tumen secret training base. And Qin Tian, in addition to the necessary entertainment, is studying how to deal with the protagonist these days. There are still 2.5 left of the protagonist of Tumen.
Yevuan, Hang Hao, Shao Chen.
Because of the 3, Yi Xian was the most dangerous. So Qin Tian came to Jiangsheng this time to prepare to deal with him. It's just that no one thought that after coming to Jiangsheng, Qin Tian met 2 protagonists again. These 2 protagonists are no weaker than Yi Xian's existence. Especially this Lin Yi was even more dangerous than Yi Xian. You know, no matter how awesome Yi Xian is, his personal combat effectiveness is no more than the peak level of the day after tomorrow. Although the others in the team also have their own strengths, their combat effectiveness is not as strong as Yi Xian. So when facing a Yi Xian, Qin Tian was not particularly panicked. But now, this Lin Yi peak period was in the Grandmaster realm, and it was the kind of Grandmaster realm that was about to reach the Great Grandmaster. Not only that, behind him, there is a sect. If he was allowed to develop, the consequences would be unimaginable. So this Lin Yi must be solved first. But how to solve Lin Yi? Qin Tian fell into contemplation again. During this time, he has thought about many ways, but none of the methods seem to work. Go to him directly? The Ting Guangzhong himself could not kill him. It won't help to find him at all. To assassinate him? The opponent's luck is so high, and the strong are reborn. Even if he took the shot himself, even if the assassin's skills were at full level, it would not be so easy to kill him. You know Lin Yi is alone. There is nothing to worry about. The super high luck value at that time will definitely create many favorable conditions for him. Under this circumstance, can people fail to fight but still run? Maybe you will get a bite from the other side if you start to frighten the snake in the end. As for threatening him with his family, it makes no sense at all. Let alone whether Lin Yi has feelings for his family. Even if you have feelings, the other party's luck is so much higher than his own. If you catch his family by yourself, you will definitely get yourself into the game. So, what should I do? Wait, what seems to be wrong? Qin Tian frowned. Although Yi Chen and Yi Xian appeared together at a wedding, the time when they first met them was one after another. And the 2 protagonists Lin Yi and Qin Yang met at the same time. So, is there any connection between the 2? Thinking of this, the more Qin Tian thought about it, the more wrong it became. After thinking for a while, he quickly found Chen Yang's information column. Although Qin Yang is just a dick, his luck value is more than 4,000. So my 500 villain value shouldn't be ridiculous, right? Qin Tian muttered to himself. Although Qi luck cannot directly represent combat effectiveness, it can show that this person has many opportunities. It is possible to grow into a dangerous person. So Qin Tian decided to purchase Chen Yang's background information. With Qin Tian's click, the 500 villain value consumption is completed. Soon, information about Chen Yang appeared in front of him. Qin Tian couldn't help but stunned. This Chen Yang's mother? Is it the daughter of the former sect master of the Qingyang sect? And it's the current sect master of Qingyang sect?
Qingyang sect.
This Qingyang sect, isn't it just? What kind of divine development is this special? After seeing Chen Yang's background information, Qin Tian couldn't help but began to complain. Because Lin Yi is a strong person in the cultivation world, he is reborn. So in his background story, he probably introduced the Sejong Gate in Xia Kingdom. Generally speaking, this world is still the world of ordinary people. Because in a large piece of land like Xia Kingdom, there are only 5 truly powerful hidden Sejong Gates. Tianlei Valley, Cold Iceland, Burning Fire Gate, Kueishui Peak, Qingfeng House. There are 5 hidden Sejong sects, and each sect has a maximum of 3 to 500 inner disciples. 3 to 500 people are not worth mentioning for a country with more than 1 billion people. In addition, the people in the sect are very low-key. Therefore, most people simply cannot discover their existence. As for other small and medium sects, there may be about 20 large or small, but the population of these sects is relatively small. The largest of them does not exceed 200 people, and the smallest is only a few people. Except for those in charge of the sect, most of the others live the lives of ordinary people. Some of them live in rural areas and live by opening restaurants. Some people live in small towns and make a living by opening small shops. Some people move bricks at the construction site just to exercise their will. Of course, there are also people who normally live in seclusion in the deep mountains and old forests. Anyway, these people are not short of money. Their purpose of doing this is just to hide their names and become a hidden boss self-cultivation. Both the Qingyang Gate of Chen Yang's mother and Lin Yi's Shadow League belong to small and medium sects. A sect of more than 100 people. Of course, this is not the most important. The most important thing is that the Qingyang sect where Chen Yang's mother is located is one of the sects that besieged Lin Yi. In other words, should Qingyang and Lin Yi be enemies? After drawing this conclusion, Qin Tian didn't know whether he should cry or laugh. But now he is very clear about it. Leaving aside Chen Yang's information for the time being, the information about his mother alone was enough to make Qin Tian worth the fare. With this 500 villain value, blood is earned. Early the next morning, the weather was clear and sunny. The weather in summer is a bit hot. Qin Tian woke up from his sleep. After moving his muscles and bones, he put on short sleeves, shorts and sandals casually.
Oldly, lanky.
President Qin. Go, follow me to the west of the city. Qin Tian made a decisive decision. Obviously, he decided to meet Chen Yang's father. Although Qin Tian's villain's eyes still can't see other people's home addresses, Su Guofu knows where Chen Yang lives. So Qin Tian wants to find Chen Yang. It is not particularly difficult. Chen Yang's home lives in the west of the city, not far from Baoping town. This is a very old community. There is no guard and no property. The neighbors around are all grandpas and aunts. Chen Yang's house is just 2 bedrooms and 1 living room. The corroded walls inside and the ash falling from the ground show how old this house is. After getting up, washing his face and brushing his teeth, Chen Yang carried out his daily operations. After the stone gambling storm that day, Chen Yang was very depressed during this period. Because I always feel like I have lost something. Read more at hotnovel.xyz. Fortunately, his ability is still there. If you want to make a fortune with this, there is still no problem. But, looking at the dilapidated house in front of him, and then looking at the old daddy who was still in the kennel and was full of alcohol, Chen Yang's anger stopped. Hey, I said Dad, can you stop drinking every day? Do you want to be so decadent for the rest of your life? Chen Yang's father, Chen Xiaotian, chirped and said insincerely. Chen Yang seemed accustomed to his father's attitude and didn't care. Continue to speak for himself. Also, Dad, Chen Yang said lightly, since you have allowed me to go out and make money, why don't you allow me to change a house? Okay. Upon hearing this, Chen Xiaotian returned to his senses and muttered in a daze, have I ever said such a thing? Chen Yang was dumbfounded when he heard this. At this moment, he suddenly wanted to beat up his father. This F***ck, is there such a bad boy? Forget it, you should continue to sleep. But well, Chen Yang raised the corner of his mouth. Since you don't remember that you said this, then I'm going to buy a luxury house. After speaking, before his father could answer, he got dressed and walked out of the room. Chen Yang stopped just after he went downstairs and didn't take a few steps. Because downstairs, there is a Rolls-Royce that has just stopped. He is no stranger to this car. Qin, President Qin, why are you here? Looking at the three people who got off the bus, Chen Yang was still polite. But don't know why, a bad premonition suddenly emerged in his heart. Haha, Brother Qin, we meet again. Chen Yang frowned and said coldly, you haven't answered my question yet. You kid, how did you talk to us, Mr. Qin? Hearing Chen Yang's tone, Lao Li was a little upset. If the other party doesn't know Qin Tian, just use this tone. But this Chen Yang clearly knew the identity of Qin Tian. And on the day of betting on the stone, Qin Tian also spared the opponent 10 million. In this case, it is obviously inappropriate to use this attitude. It's okay, Lao Li. Qin Tian didn't care, and raised his hand to signal Lao Li Jinsheng to look at Chen Yang. This time I am not looking for you, but for your father Chen Xiaotian. My dad? Chen Yang was stunned. What are you looking for my dad for? Are you going to stand down here and chat all morning? Qin Tian didn't answer the question. Well, you guys come with me. After Qin Tian's reminder, Chen Yang also noticed that it was not very suitable. Although very reluctant, he had no choice but to invite Qin Tian upstairs. Looking at the messy and dilapidated room in front of him, Lao Li couldn't help frowning. But Qin Tian didn't say anything. He naturally wouldn't talk nonsense. Dad, a guest is here. After closing the door, Chen Yang yelled inside. Ugh. Chen Xiaotian rubbed his eyes sleepily and walked out of the bedroom. Seeing Qin Tian, Chen Xiaotian's decadent eyes flashed a little doubt. Who are you? Hello, Mr. Chen. My name is Qin Tian. As for my identity, this is not important. I'm here just to learn about one thing from you. What's the matter? Chen Xiaotian yawned and did not take Qin Tian's arrival at heart. It's just that Qin Tian's next words made him froze in place. Do you know where Qingyang's sect is? What did you say? Chen Xiaotian stopped, turned his head, and looked at Qin Tian with an incredible expression. Green Sun Sect. Qin Tian repeated these three words faintly. I want to find Qingyang's sect to do something, but I don't know where they are. I don't know what you are talking about. Chen Xiaotian woke up most of the time, and a trace of irritation appeared on his decadent face. You do not know? Do not know? You really don't know? I do not know. Facing Qin Tian's questioning, Chen Xiaotian suddenly yelled, how many times do you want me to say it? I don't know. I don't know why you are here, let alone the shit Qingyang sect. But now I don't welcome you here, so please get out of here and Chen Yang will see you off. Chen Yang was dumbfounded to see his father so gaff, but at this time he didn't have time to think about it. President Qin, I'm really sorry, my father is today. Chen Yang, do you want to know news about your mother? Qin Tian interrupted Chen Yang directly, and looked at Chen Yang with a playful look. What? Chen Yang was shocked when he heard this. Before he could react, Chen Xiaotian suddenly violent, and the whole person rushed towards Qin Tian directly like a cheetah. The fist hits the lower abdomen of Qin Tian. Why do you shut up for me? Bang bang. Wang Yi's figure stopped in front of Qin Tian in time, and his hands firmly pressed Chen Xiaotian's wrist. This brother, I just asked for an address, so I don't want to use my hands. What happened suddenly in a small two-bedroom room made Qin Yang's heart twist and turns. First, Qin Tian knew the news of his mother. Then his father suddenly violent, wanted to attack Qin Tian. This move made Qin Yang, who was immersed in his mother's news, completely unresponsive. Fortunately, Wang Yi has the ability to perceive danger. This ability combined with great strength steadily stopped Chen Xiaotian. You, hear Wang Yi's words, and then see the wrist grabbed by the opponent. Chen Xiaotian clenched his teeth. Although he had guessed it a long time ago, Qin Tian came here to ask King Yangzong, he would not be an ordinary person. But seeing that he was easily stopped by the other party, he couldn't help but look at Wang Yi more. Dad, what's the matter with you? Chen Yang couldn't help but speak up when seeing the 2 men at war. Although he has an inexplicable hostility towards Qin Tian, the news of his mother is crucial to him at this moment. At this time, Chen Yang was very shocked. Sure enough, his father is hiding the news of his mother, and Qin Tian actually also knows the news of his mother? Hearing what his son said, Chen Xiaotian took a deep breath, and then slowly retracted his fist. Wang Yi also let go of his hand, but did not relax his vigilance. Chen Yang drive them out. Chen Xiaotian calmed down a bit, but still didn't want to tell Qin Tian. But Chen Yang was unwilling at this moment, but he didn't wait for him to speak. Qin Tian's wind and light voice rang again. Mr. Chen, your son is 25 years old. Are you not going to tell him? This is our family affair. It's none of your business. Chen Xiaotian roared. I didn't say to take care of your housework. I just wanted to ask King Yangzong's address. Qin Tian didn't care at all, and asked in an orderly manner. At this moment, he looked at the Chen father and son in front of him, and he was also a little weird in his heart. Because Chen Yang's background and life experience are very bloody, very bloody. Chen Yang's father, Chen Xiaotian, was just an ordinary person. During a trip, I met his mother Imo Lanshin. It is also the daughter of Qinyang sect master Imo Hai. The two met by accident. Anyway, it's a fairy with a rogue. No, it's Chen Lang. Similar to the story of the cowherd and the weaver girl and the fairy Dong Yongqi. The two fell in love at first sight. Because in that era, love was still pure. So I didn't know how to open a room in a hotel for a day. So the love between the two is unforgettable. It's just that the good times didn't last long. One day after the two had known each other for 3 months, Imo Lanshin suddenly disappeared, but left a letter to Chen Xiaotian. The letter said that she was actually the heir of a mysterious power. The sect will not allow them to be together. Read more at hotballnovel.xyz. Now the people of the sect have found her and want to take her back. Although she was very unwilling to give up, she was afraid that the people of the sect would hurt Chen Xiaotian, so she could only leave with the people of the sect. Chen Xiaotian felt like a knife cut when he saw this letter, because on the first night, Imo Lanshin took the initiative to give him his body. He also said something about each other to Imo Lanshin at the time. Now think about it. It turns out that Imo Lanshin's performance was so abnormal yesterday. Did he get the news long ago? Originally, after this night, Chen Xiaotian's pain in his heart was not so strong. But after another 3 months, Imo Lanshin ran out of the sect again. This time she came out, her belly was slightly bulging. In other words, after that night, Imo Lanshin was pregnant with Chen Xiaotian's child. After learning that Imo Lanshin was pregnant with her child, Chen Xiaotian was surprised and delighted. But the sect will not allow this child to be born. So Chen Xiaotian did it for his children. Imo Lanshin wanted to prevent the people of the sect from discovering that he was pregnant with a child. The two began their escape. After 7 months of tossing and turning, Chen Yang was finally born in a small mountain village. Imo Lanshin, who had given birth to a child, wanted Chen Yang to grow up healthily and Chen Xiaotian to have a stable life. Actively returned to the sect to attract hatred for Chen Xiaotian. Under Imo Lanshin's dealings, Chen Xiaotian and Chen Yang were able to survive. The matter had come to an end here, but Chen Xiaotian was a man. How can a man endure his wife and beg for everything for himself? So after Chen Yang became sensible, Chen Xiaotian began to use alcohol to relieve his sorrow. Day after day, year after year. Because he knew that even if he had learned to practice during this period of time with Imo Lanshin, it is also impossible to be the opponent of so many masters in King Yangzong. I really don't have any hope in my life. Dad, what is Qingyang sect? It has something to do with Mom? Chen Yang's curiosity also came up. Who is his mother is his heart disease since childhood. At this time, Qin Tian led this heart disease out. The feeling is like volcanic magma held for a long time. As long as there is a trace of guidance, it will keep flowing out. And when Qin Xiaotian heard his son's words, he immediately hated Qin Tian from the inside out. Because Qin Tian's arrival not only caused him painful memories, but also put his son into a dangerous situation. But, not to mention it. Now, I won't hide from you anymore. Find a place to sit down, I will tell you everything I know. The matter was brought to this point by Qin Tian, and Qin Xiaotian couldn't say it. So after half an hour, Chen Yang knew the truth. That's it. At this time, Chen Yang's forehead was exposed, and his fists were also tugged. It turns out that his mother is not dead. It turns out that my parents were forced to separate. It turns out that my life has been so tight because of a Qingyang sect. Qingyang sect, I swear not to be at odds with you. Chen Yang gritted his teeth. See this scene. Qin Tian looked calmly and said, now, can you tell me the address of Qingyang sect? I said. Facing Qin Tian's question, Qin Xiaotian said discouragedly, but I am not afraid to tell you the truth. In fact, I don't know the address of Qingyang sect. All these years, Qingyang sect has been looking for me. How can I be qualified to look for them? Could it be that for so many years, Zhao, you haven't done anything at all? Chen Xiaotian said painfully. I only know that there is a person in Jiangxing who belongs to the Qingyang sect. Oh, who is it? The chairman of Jiangxing Times Real Estate, Jiang Shihong. Jiang Shihong? Mr. Chun, thank you for your information. The corner of Qin Tian's mouth raised and stood up directly, turned around and opened the door to leave the spoon. Lao Li and Wang Yi followed closely. Ding, the protagonist, Chen Yang, knows his life in advance, changes the plot, and gets the villain value plus 500. Seeing this news, Qin Tian grinned. Will the 500 villain value be earned back? And after leaving Chen Yang's home, Qin Tian didn't say anything, and immediately began to kill with a knife. So in the afternoon of the same day, Jiang Shihong, chairman of Times Real Estate, received an anonymous call. After the phone confirmed his identity, an anonymous text message was sent. The content of the text message was only a few words. Tell him oh hi, Ing Sha is not dead. Qin Tian has background information about the protagonist. Although there is no King Yangzong address on it, it does have the name and name of Lin Yi's previous life. Therefore, the title of Shadow Shame is naturally to be used by Qin Tian. Come to Qin Xiaotian to ask about King Yangzong's situation, and then tell King Yangzong about Lin Yi's situation. Let Qin Yang deal with King Yangzong. Let King Yangzong deal with Lin Yi. Solve the two protagonists together. It is simply not too perfect. Of course, this is the ideal situation for Qin Tian. How the specific situation develops depends on the Qingyang sect's reaction. The chairman of Times Real Estate, Jiang Shihong, was originally just an old man over half 100 years old. Because I was busy with the affairs of the sect, I didn't have much time to take care of the business. Therefore, his worth is not high, only $1 billion in total. Over the years, he has been using the identity of the chairman of Times Real Estate as a cover. Secretly investigate the whereabouts of Qin Xiaotian and his son. This is why Qin Xiaotian knows his true identity. What? Why do these disciples of the hidden Sejong sect want to practice if they have money? In fact, the answer to the question is very simple. One is because they have dedicated spokespersons to make money for them. No need for their disciples to work hard to manage wealth. Another reason is that people are afraid of death. No matter how much money a person has, his life will not bring death. In the end, the people are gone and the money is not spent. Isn't that tragic? So for these cultivating sects, as long as the money is enough, grabbing cultivation resources and living longer is their main goal. As long as the true energy is cultivated and there are no accidents, there is no problem in living well and healthy to 100 years old. An innate pinnacle master can easily live to 120 years old. Grandmaster Realm can even reach the age of 150 years old. It can be said that the higher the level, the longer the life. Just like Zhang Shihong now, he is more than half 100 years old, and he is still full of energy. In his current state, one pick 3 for 2 consecutive nights is not a problem. Is such a powerful body comparable to an average old man? It's simply not comparable. But now, Shadow Shah is not dead? Zhang Shihong, who was in the office, blowing on the air conditioner and enjoying his secretary squeezing his shoulders, after seeing this news. First he was taken aback, then he raised his mouth in disdain. Pushing his secretary out of the office casually, Zhang Shihong replied, "No matter who you are, please don't make this kind of joke with me." Although he didn't know how the other party knew about Shadow Shah did not die. How can that be? He also participated in the encirclement and suppression of Ing Shah, and he saw the head of Shadow being cut off by those sect bosses. Lost your head? Can people not die? He didn't believe it at all. It's just that the other party seemed to know that Zhang Shihong would say the same, and immediately returned a message. Believe it or not, Ing Shah really isn't dead. If you do this, I will block you. Zhang Shihong frowned. Read more at hotfulnovel.xyz. Qin Tian didn't care at all. Chairman Jiang, why don't you believe it? Don't you know that this world has many magical powers? Magic power? Huh. Zhang Shihong sneered and replied, then tell me, after a person's head is cut off, what kind of magical power can save him? Is it to transfer flowers and trees? Or borrow a corpse to bring back the soul? Qin Tian directly replied, neither. The 2 abilities you mentioned are indeed amazing, but neither can save a dead person whose head has been cut off. But there is a way. Which method? Rebirth. You can't rebirth by seizing the house. What? Rebirth by seizing the house? After Zhang Shihong reacted, his face was dumbfounded. Do you mean that Shadow Fiend was reborn? Not bad. How do you know that he was born again? What evidence do you have? You need to send someone to investigate the evidence yourself. Anyway, I'll give it all here. Believe it or not, feel free to do so. Speaking, Qin Tian directly sent Lin Yi's information to Zhang Shihong and attached a sentence to the back of the information. This is the information after the Shadow Shaft seized the house. You don't need to thank you for taking it. After sending this message, Qin Tian deleted Zhang Shihong directly and erased all traces of contact between the 2 parties. On the other side, after reading Lin Yi's information, Zhang Shihong saw the 2 people with similar names and faces. He was really dumbfounded. Before he could think about it too much, Zhang Shihong quickly sent Lin Yi's information to Mo Hai, the former sect master of Qingyang sect, with his mobile phone. The current Ajaj sect is also advancing with the times, so it is normal to use mobile phones to communicate. Although the Qingyang sect's current lord is Mo Lanxin, when Lin Yi was besieged, Mo Hai led the team. So there is no problem sending the information to Ma Hai. Mo Hai is an old man in his 70s. For ordinary people, more than 70s are considered advanced age, and by this age, they are generally almost dead. But according to the age of the cultivator, Mo Hai has only gone half of his life now. Seeing Zhang Shihong's message to himself, Mo Hai didn't believe it at first. But after seeing the words Duoshi Rebirth and Lin Yi's information, he made a decisive decision. I'd rather trust it to have it, but if you don't trust it, I will deal with this matter. After Mo Hai sent this message, he sent another message for Zhang Shihong to keep secret. Then he quickly contacted the leaders of the major sects who had dealt with the shadows. As a result, several major sects were shocked. What? Shadow Shah's not dead? Resurrected by borrowing the corpse? Is it rebirth? It's all the same, grass. No wonder Lousie's eyelids have been plopping these days, so that's what happened? Rebirth? How can this kind of thing be possible? Yes, you don't really believe it, do you? Why don't you believe it? Be careful to sail the ship for 10,000 years. Yes, what if it's true? Then what do you think should be done? Send 2 intelligence experts to check it out. If the information is correct, kill him again if it's a big deal. Well, I think so too. What do you think? I think it works. I also think it's feasible. Then it's so decided. Ding. Succeed in murdering with a knife, and get the villain value plus 2,000. Dois mil walkie? It's okay. Looking at this system prompt, Qin Tian muttered to himself. Although it did not capture a system to earn much, but in this case it is equivalent to sleeping with a heroine. And with the help of these sects, Linny and Chen Yang don't need Qin Tian to worry about them for the time being. Linny has to deal with King Yangzong. Chen Yang wanted to learn how to save his mother by cutting agarwood from the mountain. They are so hard to protect themselves now. Where can I deal with myself? So now you can concentrate on solving Yixin? Thinking of this, Qin Tian nodded slightly. Jingle bell. The phone rang suddenly, interrupting Qin Tian's thoughts. Qin Tian came back to his senses, picked up the mobile phone and took a look. Mu Dai, Xiao Dai, is there anything you want to do with me? President Qin. There is a soldier named Lu Sudong on my side who wants to see you. Lu Sudong? Soldier? Qin Tian frowned. I found out the materials of several protagonists and flipped through them at random, and finally focused on Yixin's materials. Do you really mean Cao Cao? Cao Cao will be there? Does he have an appointment? No. Mu Dai said, but he had already been here once yesterday. I told him that you were not here, and he left without the intention of making an appointment. I didn't expect that he would come again today. I told him, if there is something urgent, let him come to Jiangqing to find you, but he doesn't seem to be willing, so I have to call you. That's it. Qin Tian looked at Lu Sudong's information and nodded thoughtfully. I understand. You can let him come back tomorrow morning? Okay, President Qin. Qin Tian also has many industries in Jiangqing, and of course he will also have his own house. However, since he doesn't come to Jiangqing often, these houses have been left unoccupied for a long time. So he threw these houses to the bodyguards who had been transferred, and he himself lives in a 5-star hotel. Knowing that Lu Sudong wants to see himself, Qin Tian is not particularly surprised, because he has the background relationship of these protagonists. So I remember Lu Sudong is the #1 person. This person's identity is a bit unusual, so in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, he must go back to Tumin to see him. Early the next morning, Qin Tian temporarily left Jiangqing's affairs to Xiao Lu, who was transferred from Tumin City. Let Lao Li drive Wang Yi back to Tumin together. I'm in the Qin's headquarters building. Good. That's it. 11 o'clock in the morning. The lounge area in the lobby downstairs of Qin's headquarters. A burly man in a military uniform was drinking tea made by his little sister and talking on his own phone. The man is about 27 or 18 years old and 183 in height. The face is fortitude, and the look is serious. A green military uniform is awe-inspiring. Before Qin Tian's car arrived at the head office, Mu Dai was already waiting on the side of the road. After Qin Tian got off the car, Mu Dai hurriedly greeted him, and then led the way. After eating Guban Peiyuan pill and beauty pill, Moody's spirit and complexion look much better than before. But Qin Tian has no time to care about this now. Following Mu Dai to the living room, he noticed the existence of the man in military uniform a long distance away. I heard you were looking for me? Qin Tian directly sat opposite him and asked with a calm expression. Lu Sudong just finished the call, and after hearing the sound, he subconsciously raised his head and glanced at Qin Tian. Suddenly he frowned. I am looking for Qin Tian, not you. His voice is deep and powerful, which at first glance is the result of rigorous training. I am Qin Tian. Qin Tian replied indifferently. Are you Qin Tian? Lu Sudong was obviously taken aback, and then he looked surprised. President of the Qin group? Not bad. Are you 40 years old? What? Before you came to see me, didn't you find out what I looked like? How can I have time to investigate in such detail? Lu Sudong put away his surprise and said calmly, since you are Qin Tian, then I'll just say it. My name is Lu Sudong. I told your assistant before. I won't introduce more here. I have nothing else to come here today, just for one person. Oh.
Yevuan.
Lu Sudong directly explained his intention. This person, shouldn't you be unfamiliar with President Qin if you want to come here? Are you here for Yixian? Qin Tian looked calmly. Although he had known Yixian's luck for a long time, he couldn't squat for a few days. But after knowing that this person came this time, he was still a little surprised. Lu Sudong wanted to save Yixian, which was also the reason why he was reluctant to go to Jiangqing. Not bad. Lu Sudong took a sip of tea. I don't want to go into the grievances between you, but I know that Yixian's imprisonment was completely completed under your careful planning. Read more at hopfulnovel.xyz. Of course, I didn't come here to ask you any crimes. I just hope you will put him in my favor. Your face? Qin Tian squinted his eyes. Let's not say whether Yixian's imprisonment was carefully planned by me. Even if it is, then why should I look at your face? Hearing Qin Tian's words, Lu Sudong paused. Mr. Qin, please forgive others and forgive others. Looking at your appearance, should it be a famous major? Qin Tian didn't answer the question. Not bad. Qin Tian didn't panic. The official rank is not low. I don't know if you were here this time. Is it representative of the country, or yourself? Lu Sudong said solemnly. Of course it is myself. I'm sorry, I don't know you, so I don't want to give you face. Lu Sudong is a soldier at the rank of king in the army. Because in the process of a mission, he was rescued by a blood wolf mercenary group once. So he owed Yixian a favor. However, when someone else was in the military camp, he came out to see Qin Tian this time, and he obviously asked for leave. And this is regarded as his personal affair, and naturally has nothing to do with the country. So when Qin Tian asked, he didn't hesitate to say that he only represents himself and has nothing to do with the country. It's just that he didn't even think that Qin Tian is so awesome. He doesn't even give him face. Didn't he know that although he only represented himself, but offending yourself is equivalent to offending a military region? President Qin, I think you should think about it carefully. After a brief silence, Lu Sudong said in a low voice, don't want to give yourself face? It had been a long time since he had seen a businessman who was so ignorant of admiration. This Qin Tian obviously made him a little unhappy. What is there to consider? Qin Tian said lightly, Yixian attacked my Qin system for no reason, and also wanted to kill me? Let me just let him go? How can it be so easy? Even if you represent the country today, you can't help but make sense, isn't it? Lu Sudong frowned. President Qin, are you sure you want to do this? I am sure. You. Lu Sudong already showed signs of wanting to get angry, but when he thinks of his identity, he can only swallow his breath. Okay, then, what do you want to let Yixian go? I just want a fair. I can't discuss it? There seems to be nothing to discuss, right? This okay. Lu Sudong let out a long sigh. Since President Qin is unwilling to let go, then I have to leave first. Don't sit down anymore?
No.
Then how about I let someone send you off? No, President Qin, stay here. Seeing Qin Tian said to give people away, but he didn't mean to move at all. Lu Sudong couldn't help but want to hit someone. But anyway, he is also professionally trained, so he can only think about it in his heart. Looking at the back of Lu Sudong leaving, Qin Tian smiled playfully. This Lu Sudong is not so easy to give up. Now that he is walking so freely, he obviously has a backup. But Qin Tian doesn't want to bother now. Anyway, the reason this time is on his side. What is he afraid of? After Lu Sudong left the Qin clan, he was very depressed, because he hasn't eaten in front of others for a long time. But now, driving his military jeep, Lu Sudong came to the detention center where Yixian was detained. After getting off the car, he did not rush in, but made a call. Hey boss, don't this Qin Tian buy it? What? Don't even give us face? The person on the other end of the phone was obviously a little surprised. Who said no? Lu Sudong was a little aggrieved. I didn't say a few words when I went, so he sent it off. And I feel that he seems to have deliberately targeted Yixian. Have there been any holidays between them? This shouldn't it? I haven't heard Yixian say. That's it. The other end of the phone was lost in thought. Forget it. You go and bring Yixian out first. I'll say hello to Zhangzhen first. As for Qin Tian, I'll go and talk to him first. If it doesn't work, let your dad try. That's fine too. Lu Sudong nodded. Not too much nonsense. After hanging up the phone, he walked directly into the detention center. The detention center is not in the police station, so it will take some time for the process to come down. However, Yixian's release from prison has become a foregone conclusion with the help of the military leaders. After dozens of minutes, Yixian swaggered out of the detention center. When he saw Lu Sudong standing in front of him, he couldn't help laughing loudly. Ha ha ha, brother, thanks. You are welcome. Lu Sudong also smiled. It's just a matter of effort. Although Lu Sudong and Yixian did not have much contact, but at this moment, they are like old friends who have not seen each other for many years. After a little chat, Lu Sudong spoke slowly. By the way, I heard that your brothers are also in Tumen? Yixian nodded. Not bad. Call them. How about we go for a drink together? Of course can. Faced with Lu Sudong's invitation, Yixian had no reason to refuse. Lu Sudong smiled and said, you let them choose a restaurant, and you and I will go to my sister's unit first. Speaking, Lu Sudong opened the car door. Your sister's unit? Yixian asked curiously, do you still have a sister? Su Qingyu continued, of course, I finally came back. I haven't visited her for your business in the past 2 days. That's all right. Let's go. Yixian said readily. For his own sake, the other party never went home to see it. Can he still say no to Lu Sudong with such kindness?
Obviously impossible.
Sitting in the co-pilot of the military jeep and looking at the interior, Yixian couldn't help but patted the windows of the jeep. It's been a long time since I took this kind of car. I miss it very much. Haha, yes. I am used to being a soldier, but after coming out, I am not used to it. Right. Yixian stretched out. You said your sister works in a unit? Which unit does it work in? Police. What? The police station? Yixian was stunned. Lu Sudong ignored him either and drove his car intently. Soon the two went all the way. The car stopped outside the Chengdong police station. Yes, the plot of dog blood happened again. The younger sister Lu Sudong said was Lu Ruoshi who had arrested Yixian. Although Qin Tian has Yixian's background information. But in this background information, those people who are connected to Yixian only show some basic personal information, such as name, height, weight, occupation, etc. There is no kinship between them. So Qin Tian knows that Lu Sudong is a soldier, and also knows that he will play a certain role in Yixian. But he didn't know that Lu Sudong and Lu Ruoshi were siblings. And what if you know it? He now has no time to ask about this. Time went back to 20 minutes ago. Military area boss? Qin's president's office. Thinking of the phone call just now, Qin Tian couldn't help but feel a stomachache. Although it has long been known that Lu Sudong will have a follow-up, the boss of the military region personally called to intercede for Yixian. He really didn't expect it. This Yixian's relationship is really not so hard. Even the boss of the military district has invited it. Qin Tian doesn't know that the other party has cut first and then played. But even if he knew it, there was no way. Because facing the request of the military district boss, he now has to agree. The other party has a special identity and is very persuasive. If you don't agree, you don't know what is good or bad. Qin Tian knows that he is very strong now, but no matter how strong it is, that is not to the point where it can compete with the country. Moreover, it is not a wise choice to challenge the country for Yixian. Boom boom boom. Read more at hopfulnovel.xyz. The knock on the door interrupted Qin Tian's thoughts.
Come in.
Mu Dai walked into his office holding a stack of papers. President Qin. What's up? It's the acquisition of novel websites. Buy a novel website? Listening to these words, Qin Tian couldn't help but froze. I have been busy dealing with Linny and Qinyang all this time, and almost forgot about this matter. Report it. The contract has been drawn up according to your requirements, but there were some surprises in the acquisition process. What's the accident? Mr. Liu has no plans to sell the company, and the asking price of the website called Blackstone is a bit too high. There is no plan to sell the company? The price is not enough. Qin Tian said lightly. They are all old foxes who doesn't know who. How much does the Blackstone cost? All of their equipment, labor, and customers add up to a valuation of more than 50 million. Excluding all expenses, the website earns 7 or 8 million yuan a year, but their asking price is 100 million yuan. What about Lu? Qi Lu is much bigger, with a valuation of nearly 300 million yuan, and their profits are also considerable, exceeding 30 million yuan each year. Blackstone, only 100 million? Give it to him. Qin Tian said very boldly. I lack everything now, but I don't lack money. 100 million? Scum. What about Lu then? Qin Tian heard the words and thought about it. Do you have a call from Boss Lu? Some. Call me. I'll talk to him. Mu Dai nodded, took out her cell phone and dialed Mr. Lu's number. The call is connected soon. Mr. Lu's surname is Zhu. Hello, Mr. Zhu, hello? Hello, you are? I am the Qin Group, Qin Tian. Oh, I remember, hello. President Zhu suddenly said, Mr. Qin, your former assistant also contacted me, but I have no plans to sell the company now. So, I'm really embarrassed. Billions. What? President Zhu was stunned. Qin Tian said lightly, your website is currently valued at 300 million yuan, and the annual profit is only 30 to 40 million yuan. According to the market, it can sell up to 500 million, plus industry rules. After you sell the website, you can't do this business for 3 years. It should be enough to give you 500 million in the past 3 years.
Ah, 10.
Mr. Zhu was obviously stunned. It has been 5 or 6 years since Luwang was founded, but in the first 2 years, it was hard to get back to it, and the website has only improved a bit from the 3rd year. In other words, in the 5 or 6 years since he was founded, he has earned 70 to 80 million in total. Excluding shareholder dividends, he still has 40 to 50 million. Now Qin Tian gives him 1 billion suddenly. Can he get 6 or 7 billion in an instant? What is the concept of 6 or 7 billion? Even if he doesn't build a website, he can still use the 5 or 6 billion to make other investments. But after thinking about it, the website has improved now. As long as it goes public, the future may. 1.5 billion. Without waiting for him to think about it, Qin Tian added another 500 million. This F***CK is simply a sky-high price? 1.5 billion? Mr. Zhu's voice trembled a little. Qin Tian's voice is calm. Sell? Deal. Mr. Zhu made a decisive decision. What is he hesitating at this moment? Before everyone became rich, they never thought that they would become rich. This is the situation with Boss Lu now. Facing the future, everyone is at a loss. When he was confused, he could not refuse to buy him out. Hearing the words from the other side, Qin Tian's mouth raised. Then you prepare the contract. I will have someone come over and sign with you tomorrow. All right, President Qin. One word is for sure. President Zhu is also refreshing. After Qin Tian hung up the phone, Mu Dai was already dumbfounded. 1.5 billion to buy a broken novel website? Own boss, is he crazy? Mr. Qin, we will lose money like this, right? It's okay, your husband and I don't lack money right now, Qin Tian said very casually. His money can't be used up in the first place. If it is not used for investment, what shall it be used for? What's more, a certain cultural group in the previous life has a market value of hundreds of billions. Now it is possible to monopolize this industry with only 1.6 billion, which is not a loss in any way. But you are too prodigal to be like this? I haven't cleared the door yet. Are you complaining about my prodigal? President Qin, we are talking about business now. Can't you be more serious? I'm not serious enough now. Qin Tian said here. There was a sudden pause. By the way, it seems to be lunch now, right? Yes, President Qin, you are thinking? Mu Dai realized that it was not right, and seemed to have guessed Qin Tian's intentions. Qin Tian smiled evilly. You locked the door. I haven't tried it in the office yet. Faced with Qin Tian's unreasonable request, can Mu Dai refuse? Obviously not. In this world, there is a behavior called harmony, teaching. Even if Mu Dai is not this kind of person, Qin Tian can also turn her into this kind of person. So the two began a long-distance office run for more than half an hour. Qin, President Qin, are you a god? God? Why do you ask? Otherwise, why are the 2 pills you gave me the same as the elixir? You will know this later. Well, then you, hurry up, wait until someone else finds out. Okay, I will try my best. Qin Tian and Mu Dai are in the office. At the Chengdong police station, Lu Ruoxi, dressed in a police uniform, was thinking hard with his hands on his chin. During this time, she has been busy with Xiao Qin's case. Although Xiao Qin's confession was very outrageous, but using these confessions to compare the facts of the case is surprisingly reasonable, this made her a little confused. There is an app in the mobile phone, which can make 1 billion. That's why Xiao Qin has so much money. So those kidnappers would steal his phone? It seems very reasonable, but if the lie is right, it can be right. Xiao Qin was lying, kidnapping and grabbing mobile phones. It might just be a farce he directed and acted, trying to use such a lie to cover up the origin of his funds. Why conceal the origin of funds? Because his money is likely to be unprofitable. And so, Ruoxi. A sudden voice interrupted her thoughts. Then another surprised voice rang. My God, she is your sister? As soon as the voice fell, 2 figures stood in front of her. Originally, Lu Ruoxi was still a little curious about who was calling her name. But after seeing the 2 people who appeared in front of her clearly, she looked surprised. Brother? Yixian? Why are you guys walking together? As a girl, usually only when colleagues are on vacation, or when they are really too busy, Lu Ruoxi will be on the night shift. This comes from the understanding of superiors, and it also comes from gender advantages. In other words, when Lu Sudong and Yixian came here. Unfortunately, Lu Ruoxi was on the day shift again. What? Is it weird? Lu Sudong raised the corner of his mouth. I haven't seen you for so long. You seem to have become haggard a lot. Don't come to this set with me. Tell me what's going on first. Lu Ruoxi looked at Yixian next to Lu Sudong, and said with an unhappy expression. Yixian caught it by himself. Are you here now with a high-sounding appearance? This is obviously inappropriate. Read more at hotnovel.xyz. Moreover, his elder brother is a soldier, and Yixian is a prisoner. 2 people who can't hit by 8 poles actually appear at the police station at the same time? Officer Lu, misunderstanding, all misunderstandings. Didn't you expect you to be Sudong's younger sister? Yixian jokingly said, I'm telling you, I was framed in this matter. Framed? Lu Ruoxi frowned. Then you mean I caught the wrong one? I never said that. Then what evidence do you have to prove that you were framed? Lu Ruoxi continued to question. Yixian also opened his mouth and said, there are too many coincidences in what happened this time. Didn't you find out? The right camera, the wiretap prepared in advance, and the people lying in the hotel? It's not because people like you are too dangerous, just in case. Yixian heard the words and smiled playfully. Who do you think is more dangerous for Qin Tian and I? Qin Tian's combat effectiveness can be even higher than his Yixian. Lu Ruoxi was also taken aback when he heard this, and then he hurriedly said that he just left a piece of evidence. What's wrong? Do you think everyone is like you and likes to use violence to solve problems? Ha ha ha. Yixian laughed loudly. Inspector Lu, I think you have a prejudice against me? Do you think Qin Tian is a good person? Maybe you still don't know. Right now the biggest underground organization in Tumen is his Qin Tian people, and when I was arrested, did you hear what he threatened me? Threat you? Lu Ruoxi obviously didn't believe it. The president of the Qin group is dignified. He not only framed you, but also threatened you? Are you kidding me? You? Forget it if you don't believe it. Anyway, what I said is the truth. Yixian also had a temper. What's the use of just talking? I believe in Brother Ye's character. Lu Sudong, who had not spoken all the time, suddenly spoke. Ruoxi, I think you should investigate this Qin Tian well. I have to say that the protagonist's halo is undoubtedly revealed at this moment. As a supporting role, but also the protagonist's help. Lu Sudong chose to trust Yixian unconditionally. Investigate Qin Tian? Hearing what his brother said, Lu Ruoxi was not angry. Brother, can you stop making trouble? Don't you know that we pay attention to evidence in handling cases? Of course I know, but... No, but don't tell me these are useless. Lu Ruoxi yelled at Lu Sudong uncomfortably, and then looked at Yixian again. Unless you can show your innocence, otherwise I will never end with you. Lu Ruoxi should have had a bond with Yixian. Although she was fettered, she still had this attitude towards Yixian. However, due to Qin Tian's swift and early access, the 2 people produced different results with the same attitude. Especially when I thought that many of my colleagues were seriously injured by mercenaries like Yixian. She felt even more upset. Don't worry, I will find evidence, Yixian said indifferently. As long as it comes out, the sky will be high and the birds will fly. Isn't it easy to find evidence, or something? Just as soon as the voice fell, Yixian's whole body suddenly stopped moving. It's like being punctuated by someone, motionless. Not only him, but the entire police station became motionless. Lu Ruoshi, with exquisite features, was looking at Yixian with an unhappy expression. She looked very good-looking when she was still. Lu Sudong was yelled at by his sister. The expression at this time was still a bit awkward. Yixian's expression was indifferent, and his hand was still raised in the air, as if he was about to say something. The police officers around, and the flat-headed people who came to call the police, also maintained a walking or sitting posture at this time. Ding detects that the host is being constrained by time, and the villain system defense function is automatically turned on. Ding, because this power is a range-type imprisonment, the imprisoned individual has insufficient power. This time lifting the imprisonment will consume 100 chi luck points. Ding, 100 points of air luck are automatically deducted successfully, and the host's air luck is left, 4,300 points. How is this going? Seeing Moody, who was keeping her OL professional outfit on the sofa, she saw a series of prompts from her own system. Qin Tian's whole person is dumbfounded. He only remembered that his battle with Mu Dai had just ended. As Mu Dai sorted her clothes, she complained that she shouldn't have dealt with her in the office, then suddenly stopped moving, being imprisoned by time? Qin Tian is a little unbelievable. He quickly dressed up and opened the office door. Suddenly, a scene that surprised him appeared. All the employees who came back from the office after lunch, they all kept walking or talking motionless. Clocks on the wall, wind-blown materials, employee hair, clothing corners. All of them were frozen in place, as if they had been subjected to a fixation technique. Is this time standing still? Qin Tian was dumbfounded. I bought a watch last year. Have the protagonist awakened the ability to stand still? Time stands still? That's right. Time stands still. This ability is particularly shameless. Once activated, even the entire solar system has to fall into a static state of time. In other words, at this moment, even the sun in the sky does not move. All creatures are wrapped in this mysterious power. The whole world has become extremely quiet. Earth, Xiagua. In addition to Qin Tian, who has the big villain system, there is another person who can move freely. This person is the initiator of Yinjing, Suchan. Suchan is a hard-working office worker who has been oppressed. At this time, he was also dumbfounded, because he was only scolded by his fat manager just now. Then he returned to his seat and made a wish to his family heirloom. Said that if he had time to stand still, it would be nice, so that he could beat the fat manager back. Then Baoyu was really broken. Time really stood still. Seeing everything in the office stood still, he was ecstatic after a brief consternation. The whole world can't move. Only oneself can move? Doesn't that mean you can do whatever you want? Thinking of this, Su Chan suppressed the excitement in his heart and waited quietly in his seat. He is not stupid. Because he doesn't know how long time can stand still, he naturally won't do something illegal immediately. What if the time recovers on the way to work? So he still needs to wait. A person who is really capable of doing great things must not only be patient, but also know how to forbear. He understands this very well. On the other side, President Qin's office. Seeing everyone staying motionless, looking at the dust and birds in the sky outside the window, he was motionless. Qin Tian really wants to curse. How many protagonists are there in this world? One is not solved, the other one comes again? Now not only have several people come here, but there are people who have awakened this incredible ability. Can you please point your face? Thanks to the awesome system of his own, he can be immune to the static power of this time. Otherwise, don't you want to be like them, staying still and not moving? After an adaptation period of about 10 minutes, Qin Tian took a deep breath while sitting on the sofa. The whole person also calmed down. Things have already happened, and complaining or grumbling will not solve any problems at all. The most important thing now is to figure out what exactly is this time static. Qin Tian has also seen many such novels about time being still in his previous life. There are many types of novels of this kind. Some of the protagonists can use this ability. He can control how long it is used and when it is used. Some are directly stopped for 100 years, 1,000 years, or even 10,000 years. Read more at hotmailnovel.xyz. If the protagonist actively uses this ability, generally this time will not be long. But if time stands still for 10,000 years, this F***ck hurts to think about it. System, do you know how long this time still lasts? Qin Tian asked quickly. Now the whole world is still. The only one who can give him an idea is his own system. Hearing Qin Tian's words, the cold voice of the system faintly sounded. Judging based on the detected power covering the host, the duration of this time static will not exceed 2 hours. Will it be more than 2 hours? Qin Tian breathed a sigh of relief. That's okay. At this point he can still bear it. If it lasts 10,000 years? Think about the industry you have worked so hard to manage, and think about the strength you have worked so hard to improve. It all disappeared in an instant, so I'm still playing with it. People are all social animals. If the world really becomes like this, then I might as well just find a place to die. At the very least, there is the opportunity to travel back to the construction site to move bricks. By the way, the system, does it take 100 points of luck to release time quiescence? Yes, host, 100 points at a time. Can that make me immune forever? Qin Tian asked tentatively. Since this time is static for no more than 2 hours, it must be artificially controlled. And looking at this trend, the whole world is still. The world is so big, it is not so difficult to find someone who can use time to stand still. In other words, there will be many times in the future. Rather than subtracting 100 points of luck for one occurrence, it is better to be straightforward. Although it feels a bit pitted to consume luck value, but if it can be done once and for all, Qin Tian is definitely not stingy. He didn't want to be like everyone else, being frozen in place without any warning. The regular version has 1,000 luck points, and the enhanced version has 2,000 luck points. The system opens directly. Hearing this answer, Qin Tian wanted to curse again. Did you learn this broken wall system from Xiaoma? Also sell regular version and enhanced version? Why don't you get a VIP 1-16? But after hesitating for a while, Qin Tian still bought an enhanced version, because the normal version can only be immune to this kind of coverage time static. The enhanced version can be immune to imprisonment power that is 5 times stronger than the normal version. Qin Tian might have to face this protagonist in the future, so it's better to choose an enhanced version directly. As for the value of luck consumed, Qin Tian also has no choice. The luck value can be regained again, but being manipulated by the protagonist with this ability is completely unbearable for him. Moreover, in addition to being able to directly kill the protagonist, the luck value does not seem to be of any other use. How many protagonists has Qin Tian killed now? There was no one, and the only time he was confrontational with the protagonist was to grab Xiao Qin's mobile phone. And this means that you can't buy things in the system, and it doesn't bring you too many substantial benefits. Remember that after my luck is worth over 1,000, there will be a lot of opportunities. What's more, even if you consume 2,000 luck points, don't you still have 2,300 points? So, decisively enhanced version, do not explain. Over time, probably more than 40 minutes, watching Qin Tian sitting on his office chair, Moody, who had arranged her black stockings and hip skirt, was puzzled. President Qin, I remember that you were not behind me just now. Why did you get into the office chair? You have a wrong memory. You were just tidying up your stockings. How could you notice me? Qin Tian sprinkled a panic at will. 1 hour. If I didn't estimate it, time, for money, just stood still for an hour. For Qin Tian, this hour is 1 hour. But for Mu Dai, it was a matter of blinking an eye. That's why Mu Dai was puzzled about Qin Tian's location. Really? It seems right. Hearing Qin Tian's words, Mu Dai was a little confused, but she didn't think too much, because her attention just now was indeed on her stockings. Come on, don't think about it, let's go to lunch. Qin Tian interrupted her thoughts. Well, good. Mu Dai nodded quickly. One after another, the two opened the office door again. After just an hour of thinking time, Qin Tian suddenly felt that if he was able to move, this time still doesn't seem to be so terrible. After all, this ability can't affect yourself. But, this ability is so shameless, maybe you can do something at this time? For example, directly kill those protagonists who are threatening to you? Well, it seems you can give it a try.